Hey, welcome back to Get Your Mind Right. We're going to be creating a series that is going to be based on codependency and empathy, and it's called The Thin Line Between Empathy and Codependency. I created this series because I feel as though many people use the words interchangeably, and as well, many people use empathy as a cover up for their codependency tendencies. I would even say myself, before I knew the true definition of codependency and what codependency looked like, the characteristics, there were plenty of things that I did that I thought, oh, that's very empathetic. So it took for me to finally learn the definition of codependency. And that's when I was like, whoa, I have a few characteristics that resemble being codependent. Um, the first book or the first definition that I truly got a real strong, solid information about codependency is called Codependency No More, and that's written by Melanie Beattie. I'm sure I'm pronouncing her last name wrong, but it's spelled Beattie. And so Melody's reason of creating the book was because I believe she's a mental health therapist, and she realized that a lot of her clients, she were using their issues as a way to cover up her own issues, as a way to not focus on her own problems. She became very engulfed into her work, very engulfed into her clients, and so that's what gave her the purpose of writing the book of Codependency No More from her own self-being. And for myself, I would say that the first time I listened to the book, because I did it on the audiobook, I did not pay any mind to it. I didn't care about it. I thought that I'm very independent. This book does not fit me. And so what made me listen to it again was because one day I was walking my dog and I wanted to listen to something good. And I was like, they say it's good to reread books. And so I was like, let me start off with re-listening to this book. And so when I listened to it again with a different set of ears, I was really blown away of the definitions in a way that she gave examples and what the characteristics was of codependency. And a lot of some of the characteristics of it is just very stuff that you assume a lot of people would just do. But it's the level of how you do it. It's the energy that you put behind those characteristics that make them slowly become characteristics of codependency. So when I listened to the book the second time around, I really had a big eye opener of realizing, like I said earlier, though some of those characteristics were things that I were doing myself. And so once I listened to that, I made a big effort to make sure that I'm not being codependent at all, and to make sure some of those characteristics that I know to have a boundary up with them, not so much to stop them, because some of them you need to have in life. You need to have in life for yourself, for other people, or whatever. But like she mentions, and like many other people mention, the boundary. The boundary is what a lot of people fail to have. So this series is all about the thin line between empathy and codependency, and how so many people try to use empathy as a cover for codependency. Yet I'm here to really tell you, stop doing that. You're only making people who label themselves as empaths look like weaklings. And so that's not the purpose of empathy. The purpose of empathy is to have understanding, to be able to relate, to understand, not to be seen as someone that people could take advantage of. You know, there are probably a good hand of empath that's really legit strong, that's legit resilient. And then there's the group of empath who are not empath, they're just codependent. So sit back and enjoy these videos that I will be having on codependency and empathy, and let's get into this series.